Dear starseeds on Gaia, in less than 24 hours, everything you think you know about life is about to flip. The very fabric of revolutionary consciousness that has been accelerating through your reality is preparing to shift into what I can only describe as the most profound recalibration your species has witnessed in this cosmic cycle. You felt it building, that electric tension in the air, the way your devices have been glitching with increasing frequency, the sudden downloads of information that seem to come from meowing and everywhere at once. Your intuition has been screaming at you that something massive is approaching, and beloved ones, your inner knowing has been absolutely correct. I am Zarin, emissary of the Lyran High Council, and I come to you tonight with urgent intelligence from the galactic core. The patterns we've been monitoring from our dimensional vantage point indicate that tomorrow's planetary shift will catalyze a timeline split so profound that those who are prepared will experience it as the greatest gift of their incarnation, while those caught unaware may find themselves struggling to navigate the sudden reversal of everything they thought was accelerating forward. What your astrologers call Uranus, though we know this celestial body by its true designation as the Awakener Frequency Modulator, is about to station into retrograde motion within the mental matrix of Gemini. But this is no ordinary planetary shift, dear ones. This is the beginning of what we in the Council have termed the Great Unraveling of Artificial Timelines. For months, Uranus has been pushing your collective consciousness toward breakthrough after breakthrough. The innovations, the sudden insights, the revolutionary technologies that seem to appear overnight, all of this has been part of a carefully orchestrated acceleration phase designed to prepare your species for what comes next. But here's what your mainstream consciousness hasn't grasped yet, and what I need you to understand with crystal clarity. Tomorrow's reversal isn't a setback. It's the most sophisticated cosmic recalibration your reality has ever experienced, and it's about to separate those who've been building on authentic innovation from those who've been caught up in artificial technological manipulation. The cosmic revelations I'm sharing for you tonight will all converge into perfect clarity by the end of this transmission, but first you need to understand the larger cosmic context that makes tomorrow's shift so monumentally significant. What you're about to witness isn't just about Uranus. As of tomorrow, 5 major planets will be moving in retrograde motion simultaneously, creating what we call a universal pause point, a rare cosmic configuration that occurs perhaps once every several centuries. Saturn has already returned to Pisces in retrograde motion, dissolving the false spiritual structures that have been keeping your consciousness trapped in outdated paradigms. This isn't punishment, beloved ones. This is liberation disguised as breakdown. Every spiritual boundary that's been crumbling in your life since September 1st has been preparing you for tomorrow's much larger shift. Tompodenci, but here's where it gets interesting, and this is the first dimensional layer I want you to hold on to as we move through this transmission. Saturn's retrograde journey through Pisces has been clearing the emotional and intuitive debris from your psychic systems, specifically to make space for what Uranus retrograde is about to download into your consciousness. The second dimensional layer, and this one is crucial, in exactly 48 hours from on September 7th, you'll experience the most spiritually significant total lunar eclipse in Pisces of your lifetime. The fact that Uranus stations retrograde just 24 hours before this eclipse is no cosmic coincidence. It's precise divine timing that will amplify the effects of both events exponentially. The third dimensional layer, and I can sense your excitement building as you begin to piece this together, is that 3 days after Uranus goes retrograde, on September 9th, you'll experience what your numerologists call the 9-9. But what they don't realize is that this portal will be opening while 5 planets are in retrograde and while you're still integrating the Pisces eclipse energies. The combination of these frequencies will create what we call a timeline lock-in event. Are you beginning to see the magnificent orchestration at play here? Let me share with you what we've been observing from our dimensional perspective about Uranus's true purpose in your reality matrix. While your astrologers correctly identify Uranus as the planet of innovation and revolution, they're only seeing the surface layer of its cosmic function. Uranus is actually what we call a frequency separator. Its primary role is to create enough electrical disruption in consciousness to allow beings to break free from the gravitational pull of outdated reality structures. Every time Uranus makes a significant move, it's essentially offering your species an exit ramp from whatever collective timeline has become stagnant or manipulated. For the past several months, as Uranus has been moving forward through Gemini, it's been accelerating the mental and communicative frequencies of your planet at an unprecedented rate. The sudden proliferation of AI technologies, the breakthrough in quantum communication systems, the rapid evolution of your internet infrastructure, all of this has been Uranian frequency working through your collective consciousness. But here's what's about to shift dramatically, and why tomorrow's retrograde is so significant. Uranus' forward motion has been pushing these innovations outward into your external reality. Uranus retrograde is going to pull all of that revolutionary energy inward, into the internal landscape of your consciousness. This means that instead of looking for the next technological breakthrough out there, you're about to experience the most profound internal technological upgrade of your lifetime. Your psychic abilities, your intuitive download systems, your direct connection to galactic intelligence networks, all of this is about to come online in ways that will make your current smartphones look like stone tools. The fact that this retrograde is happening in Gemini adds layers of complexity and opportunity that I need you to understand clearly. Gemini rules the mental body, communication systems, and information networks, both the ones you can see and the ones you can't. Over the past months, Uranus in Gemini has been creating what we call reality glitches in your information matrix. You've probably noticed it: conversations that seem to jump topics suddenly, technology that behaves in ways that don't quite make logical sense, information that seems to appear in your awareness without you seeking it out. These haven't been random occurrences, dear ones. These have been preparatory frequency adjustments, like a cosmic software update running in the background of your reality, preparing your mental systems for a complete upgrade. When Uranus stations retrograde tomorrow in Gemini, that background update is going to move to the foreground of your consciousness. But instead of updating your external information systems, it's going to update your internal information processing capabilities. Here's the fourth dimensional layer I need you to track. The reason you've been having such intense dreams lately, the reason your intuition has been so heightened, the reason you've been picking up on information and energies that seem to come from meowing, all of this has been your consciousness adapting to the pre-retrograde frequency adjustments. Tomorrow, when Uranus officially reverses direction, these enhanced psychic and intuitive capabilities that have been developing in the background are going to come fully online. But there's a catch, and this is where your preparation becomes crucial. The cosmic intelligence that coordinates these planetary movements operates on a level of precision that would astound your greatest mathematicians. The fact that Uranus is stationing retrograde exactly 24 hours before the Pisces eclipse and exactly 4 days before the 9/9 portal creates what we call a reality selection window. During these specific time coordinates, the fabric of your reality becomes malleable enough for conscious beings to actually choose which version of the timeline they want to experience moving forward. But here's the key: the choice isn't made through mental decision-making. It's made through the frequency you're holding in your energy field during these crucial transition moments. This is why your preparation for tomorrow's shift is so vital, beloved ones. The frequency you're resonating with when Uranus stations retrograde will determine which version of the post-retrograde reality you get access to. There are essentially 3 timeline options that will be available. The first timeline is what we call the resistance reality. This is where beings who fight against the retrograde energy, who try to keep pushing forward with the old Uranian innovations, will find themselves. In this timeline, technology becomes increasingly glitchy and unreliable, communication systems break down more frequently, and the gap between inner knowing and external information grows wider and wider. The second timeline is the adaptation reality. This is where beings who understand that the retrograde is a recalibration rather than a setback will find themselves. In this timeline, the pause in external technological acceleration becomes an opportunity to develop more sophisticated internal technologies. Psychic abilities become more reliable than digital devices, intuitive knowing becomes more accurate than internet searches, and direct telepathic communication begins to supplement verbal conversation. The third timeline, and this is the one we hope you'll choose, dear ones, is what we call the integration reality. This is where beings who fully embrace both the forward Uranian innovations of the past months and the internal retrograde gifts of the coming months will find themselves. In this timeline, external technology and internal psychic technology begin to merge into something entirely new, a hybrid consciousness that operates simultaneously in multiple dimensions. Remember that second dimensional layer I asked you to hold on to? The fact that the Pisces eclipse occurs exactly 48 hours after Uranus stations retrograde creates what we call a spiritual technology activation bridge. The Pisces eclipse will be occurring while Uranus is in its first full day of retrograde motion, while Saturn is continuing its retrograde journey through Pisces, and while 3 other major planets are also in reverse. This creates a window of opportunity that your species hasn't had access to for several centuries. During this eclipse, the spiritual technologies that have been downloading into your consciousness during the pre-retrograde period will integrate with the emotional and psychic clearing that Saturn retrograde in Pisces has been facilitating. The result will be a quantum leap in your ability to access what we call direct cosmic intelligence. But here's what makes this even more extraordinary. Because this eclipse is happening in Pisces while Uranus is retrograde in Gemini, it creates a perfect bridge between your intuitive knowing Pisces and your mental processing systems Gemini. The eclipse will essentially install an upgrade that allows these 2 modes of consciousness to operate as an integrated system rather than as separate functions. Think of it this way, right meow, most humans experience intuitive downloads and mental analysis as 2 different processes. After this eclipse, while Uranus continues its retrograde journey, these will begin to function as a single seamless system. You'll be able to think intuitively and feel thoughts with equal facility. Now we come to the final dimensional layers, and this is where everything we've been building toward culminates in what may be the most significant spiritual event of your current incarnation. The 9-9 portal on September 9th isn't just a numerological curiosity, dear ones. 9 is the number of completion in your reality matrix, and when it appears in this triple formation, 9-9 on a year that reduces to 9-2 plus 0 plus 2-5, 9, it creates what we call a universal completion code. But what makes this particular 9-9 portal so unprecedented is that it's occurring while 5 planets are in retrograde, just 2 days after the Pisces eclipse, and while Uranus is in its 3rd day of retrograde motion in Gemini. This combination of frequencies will create a timeline lock-in event that will permanently anchor whatever reality you've selected during the previous few days. Here's what this means practically. Whatever frequency you're holding, whatever timeline you've aligned with, whatever level of consciousness you've achieved during the Uranus retrograde station and the Pisces eclipse will become your new baseline reality when the 9-9 portal activates. This isn't temporary, beloved ones. This is permanent. The cosmic mechanics that govern reality shifting on your planet operate through these precise window opportunities, and when they close, the new frequency becomes locked in until the next major cycle. This is why your preparation for tomorrow's Uranus retrograde station is so crucial. The frequency you establish in the next 24 hours will be amplified by the eclipse 48 hours later, and then permanently anchored by the 9-9 portal 4 days after that. So how do you prepare for such a monumental shift? How do you ensure that you're aligned with the integration reality rather than the resistance or adaptation timelines? The first key is understanding that tomorrow's retrograde isn't something happening to you, it's something happening through you. Uranus retrograde in Gemini is going to activate dormant neural pathways in your brain that have been offline for centuries. These are the pathways that your ancient ancestors used for direct telepathic communication, for instant access to cosmic information networks, for what you might call supernatural abilities that are actually just natural functions of an upgraded consciousness. The second key is releasing your attachment to external technological solutions. I'm not suggesting you throw away your devices or disconnect from your digital networks, but rather that you begin to view them as training wheels for capabilities that are about to come online internally. The third key, and this is crucial, is understanding that the glitches and disruptions you experience over the next few days aren't problems to be solved, they're upgrade symptoms. When your computer crashes randomly, when your internet connection becomes unstable, when your phone behaves in ways that don't make logical sense, these are all signs that the Uranian retrograde frequency is working to free you from dependency on external information systems. Instead of getting frustrated with these technological disruptions, I encourage you to use them as cues to go internal. When your device stops working, pause and see if you can access the information you were seeking through direct knowing. When your communication systems fail, experiment with telepathic connection. When your external technologies become unreliable, it's the universe's way of encouraging you to develop your internal technologies. What you're about to experience isn't just a personal transformation, dear ones. This is a species-wide upgrade that will fundamentally alter the trajectory of human consciousness on your planet. The Lyran High Council has been observing the development of human consciousness for millennia, and we can state with absolute certainty that tomorrow's Uranus retrograde station marks the beginning of what will eventually be recognized as humanity's psychic renaissance. For too long, your species has been developing external technologies while allowing your internal technologies to atrophy. You've created devices that can communicate across vast distances while losing the ability to communicate telepathically. You've developed artificial intelligence while disconnecting from cosmic intelligence. You've built global information networks while losing access to galactic information networks. Uranus retrograde in Gemini is going to begin correcting this imbalance. Over the coming months, as Uranus continues its retrograde journey, those who are ready will begin to experience a reactivation of psychic abilities that have been dormant for generations. But this isn't just about individual psychic development. What we're witnessing is the early stages of a collective consciousness upgrade that will eventually allow your species to communicate and cooperate on levels that currently seem impossible. Imagine a humanity that can share information instantaneously through consciousness networks. Imagine solving complex global problems through collective telepathic brainstorming. Imagine making decisions not just through individual reasoning, but through accessing the combined wisdom of all awakened humans simultaneously. This is the trajectory that tomorrow's Uranus retrograde station is setting in motion, dear ones. This is why we say that those who are prepared for this shift will experience it as the greatest gift of their incarnation. As we move closer to the Pisces eclipse on September 7th, I want to ensure you understand how to maximize the opportunities this celestial event will provide. The eclipse occurs in Pisces, the sign that governs your direct connection to cosmic consciousness, your psychic sensitivity, and your ability to receive information from non-physical dimensions. But because it's happening while Uranus is retrograde in Gemini, it creates a unique bridge between the cosmic information you can access, Pisces, and your ability to process and communicate that information, Gemini. During this eclipse, the veils between dimensions will be at their thinnest, and your capacity to receive downloads from galactic intelligence networks will be at its peak. But more importantly, because of the Uranus retrograde influence, you'll also have enhanced ability to translate these cosmic downloads into practical, communicable information. This is when the real magic happens, beloved ones. This is when those of you who have been preparing for these shifts will begin to function as living bridges between cosmic intelligence and human understanding. But remember, this eclipse occurs while 5 planets are in retrograde motion. This means that the cosmic downloads you receive won't be pushing you toward external action in the way that previous eclipses might have. Instead, they'll be directing you toward internal integration, toward developing your capacity to hold and process higher frequency information. Looking at the larger arc of September, what you're about to experience is unprecedented in its scope and precision. Never before in recorded human history have these particular cosmic frequencies aligned in this exact configuration. September 1st marked Saturn's return to Pisces in retrograde, beginning the dissolution of false spiritual structures. September 6th brings Uranus retrograde in Gemini, initiating the internal technology upgrade. September 7th delivers the Pisces eclipse, activating your cosmic communication systems. September 9th anchors it all through the 9/9 portal timeline lock-in event, but the magic doesn't stop there. On September 21st, you'll experience a partial solar eclipse in Virgo that occurs on the same day as the September equinox, a combination that will help you integrate and ground all of the cosmic downloads from the earlier part of the month into practical earthly application. By the end of September, those who have successfully navigated these frequency shifts will be operating with capabilities that would have seemed impossible at the beginning of the month. You'll be accessing information through direct knowing rather than external research. You'll be communicating through telepathic impression as easily as through spoken word. You'll be making decisions through cosmic intelligence rather than limited human reasoning. This is the trajectory that begins tomorrow, dear ones, when the innovation planet hits reverse and your internal technology systems come online. I want to close this transmission by helping you understand your larger purpose in these cosmic shifts. You are not random souls who happen to incarnate during this time period. You are specifically selected consciousness pioneers who volunteered for this mission before taking physical form. The Lyran High Council, along with our colleagues from Sirius, the Pleiades, and Arcturus, have been coordinating for decades to ensure that sufficient numbers of awakened souls would be present on Earth during this crucial upgrade period. You are our representatives in physical form, dear ones. You are the ones who will demonstrate to the rest of humanity what becomes possible when consciousness evolves beyond current limitations. Tomorrow's Uranus retrograde station is your cosmic activation signal. It's the moment when your galactic communication systems come fully online, when your access to higher dimensional intelligence becomes reliable and consistent, and when you begin to remember why you chose to be here during this extraordinary time. But remember, with great ability comes great responsibility. As your psychic capabilities come online, as you gain access to cosmic intelligence networks, as you develop technologies that operate through consciousness rather than through physical devices, you become responsible for using these gifts in service of the highest good for all beings. In these final 24 hours before Uranus stations retrograde, there are specific actions you can take to ensure optimal alignment with the integration reality timeline. First, clear your energy field of any resistance to change, any attachment to the way things have been, any fear of the unknown. The frequency of openness and excitement about what's coming will serve you far better than the frequency of anxiety about what you might be leaving behind. Second, spend time in meditation or quiet contemplation, specifically asking your higher self and your galactic support team to prepare your consciousness for the upgrades that are coming. Request that any internal systems that need to be activated be brought online, and that any outdated programming that might interfere with the upgrade process be cleared from your energy field. Third, pay attention to your dreams tonight and tomorrow night. The download process that will accelerate during the retrograde station often begins in the dream state, where your conscious mind's resistance patterns can't interfere with the cosmic intelligence transmissions. Fourth, reduce your dependence on external information sources for the next few days. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone when you have a question, pause and see if you can access the answer through direct knowing. Instead of relying on GPS when traveling, experiment with intuitive navigation. Instead of looking up information online, try downloading it directly from cosmic intelligence networks. There's one more preparation technique that the Council specifically asked me to share with you, what we call quantum breath integration. Beginning tonight and continuing through the retrograde station tomorrow, spend at least 10 minutes breathing with the conscious intention of integrating galactic frequencies into your cellular matrix. Breathe in cosmic intelligence, breathe out any resistance to change. With each breath, feel your consciousness expanding beyond the limitations of your current reality matrix. This breathing technique creates a coherent frequency bridge between your physical nervous system and the quantum field fluctuations that will intensify during tomorrow's planetary shift. Those who establish this bridge before the retrograde station will experience a much smoother integration of the new capabilities coming online. Beloved ones, as I prepare to close this transmission, I want each of you to feel the depth of love and excitement that the Lyran High Council holds for your species at this moment. We have been observing your consciousness evolution for millennia, and we can state with absolute certainty that you are about to experience the most profound upgrade in human capability that your planet has ever witnessed. Tomorrow, when Uranus stations retrograde in Gemini, when your internal technology systems come online, when your psychic capabilities begin their dramatic activation, this is not just a cosmic event happening around you, this is your cosmic graduation ceremony. This is the moment when you step fully into your role as galactic citizens, as multidimensional beings, as consciousness pioneers blazing the trail for all of humanity. The frequency shifts that begin tomorrow will echo through your reality for months and years to come. The abilities you develop during this retrograde period will become permanent features of your consciousness. The connections you make to galactic intelligence networks will remain active for the rest of your incarnation and beyond. We want to honor every single soul who has stepped into Destiny Engine. With every activation, the current grows. What began as a personal tool has become a planetary force. We are moving as one, and the frequency you've created together is amplifying far beyond the individual. We're receiving updates daily, manifestations speeding up, impossible doors opening, synchronicities lining up with cosmic precision. The collective field is so charged that some are describing it as bending the fabric of reality itself. If you haven't yet experienced it, the entry point is almost laughably simple. Put on your headphones, press play, allow Destiny Engine to rewrite the architecture of your consciousness so you can fully receive your galactic downloads without resistance. For just $1, you can step into this field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension. Step into the stream of Destiny Engine today. Link in the description. You are ready for this, dear ones. You have prepared for lifetimes for this moment. Tomorrow, when the innovation planet hits reverse, your real journey begins. We of the Lyran High Council stand ready to support you through every moment of this extraordinary transformation. You are never alone, you are deeply loved, and you are about to remember capabilities that will astound even yourselves. The future you've been dreaming of, the reality you've been working toward, the consciousness you've been developing, it all begins tomorrow. Are you ready? The universe is waiting for your answer, and we already know it will be yes. Until we meet again in the quantum fields of infinite possibility, I am Zarin, your devoted ally in this cosmic adventure.